Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the untold stories of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Today we're exploring the heartbreaking revelations from Carrie Fisher's life, a woman who captivated millions as Princess Leia but lived a personal life filled with challenges, secrets, and resilience. From her tumultuous relationships to a mysterious note discovered after her passing, Carrie's story continues to leave us in awe. Stay tuned as we uncover the devastating secrets that defined her extraordinary journey. Shortly after Carrie Fisher's death, her brother discovered a mysterious note hidden in a desk drawer, its contents leaving him utterly stunned. We'll revisit that discovery later. While Carrie Fisher is best known for her portrayal of Princess Leia in Star Wars, her real-life resilience only deepened her legendary status. A natural-born writer, Fisher never hesitated to speak her truth and share her story. She confronted struggles with mental illness and addiction head-on, and her tumultuous love life laid bare her profound vulnerabilities. Born on October 21st, 1956 in Beverly Hills, California, Carrie Fisher grew up in a family steeped in Hollywood royalty. Her parents were none other than Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, two of the most famous figures of their time. From an early age, Carrie was thrust into the spotlight, but it was far from the childhood she desired. More than anything, she craved normalcy. Sharing her mother with the world was particularly difficult. She longed for her mother's undivided attention and a life that felt ordinary. Carrie Fisher's relationship with her mother, Debbie Reynolds, was as complex as it was loving. As one of Hollywood's brightest stars, Reynolds often found herself consumed by her career, leaving a young Carrie longing for her mother's undivided attention. Despite this distance, the bond between mother and daughter remained unbreakable. Over the years, they faced their share of misunderstandings, but their love for each other always prevailed. Fisher once remarked that her mother was a force of nature, a sentiment that carried through even during the moments of conflict. Toward the end of their lives, the pair became inseparable, their mutual respect and admiration shining brightly. Fisher humorously noted that while their relationship could be stormy, it was also filled with immense love, describing them as two halves of the same heart. Seeking refuge, Carrie found solace in books. Immersing herself in stories, she quickly earned the nickname the Bookworm. Writing was her true passion, but her mother's larger-than-life influence inevitably pulled her toward the stage. At just 16 years old, Carrie made her debut alongside her mother in the Broadway production of Irene. However, this world of glamour and performance was the opposite of the normalcy she had yearned for. The grueling demands of the stage soon clashed with her education, forcing her to drop out of school only a year later. Carrie Fisher's journey to stardom began with her first film, Shampoo. As she immersed herself further into the world of acting, her educational pursuits slowly faded into the background, and there was no turning back. Today, it's impossible to think of Carrie Fisher without recalling her most iconic role, Princess Leia in Star Wars. At just 19 years old, she could never have imagined the monumental success of the space saga. Princess Leia, with her sharp wit and fearless courage, became an icon, but the glitz of Fisher's newfound fame masked a secret she carried for much of her life. Behind the scenes of Star Wars, Carrie Fisher was known for her quick wit and playful nature, which often lightened the mood on set. Her close friendship with Mark Hamill brought plenty of laughter, with the two frequently sharing jokes between takes. Fisher also had a unique dynamic with Harrison Ford, whose dry humor often clashed with her more animated personality, creating amusing moments that their fellow cast and crew still recall fondly. One such instance involved Fisher pranking Ford by writing "Property of Han Solo" on her costume during a particularly long filming day. These lighthearted moments highlighted the camaraderie among the cast and became a cherished part of the Star Wars legacy, adding another layer to the iconic series. In 2016, Fisher unveiled a scandalous revelation in her memoir, The Princess Diarist. Drawing from the diary she kept while filming Star Wars, she confirmed what many had long suspected. Her electrifying on-screen chemistry with Harrison Ford stemmed from a real-life affair. However, if you're picturing a romance to rival that of Leia and Han Solo, the reality was far less idealized and much darker, casting an unflattering light on Ford. Their clandestine relationship began at George Lucas's birthday party, where Fisher, barely out of her teens, found herself the only woman in a room of older, lustful men, a situation ripe for trouble. The crew encouraged Fisher to drink despite her distaste for alcohol. Feeling insecure and eager to fit in, she gave in to the pressure, setting the stage for what would become a turbulent and emotionally complicated affair. The situation quickly spiraled as she became entirely influenced by those around her, and the party took a disturbing turn. Members of the crowd began to exploit her vulnerability, with some even attempting to drag her away. Witnessing this, Harrison Ford stepped in. In what appeared to be a gallant move, he confronted the situation, stating, "Pardon me, but the lady doesn't seem to be fully aware of what she wants." Amid the ensuing commotion, Ford escorted Carrie Fisher away from the party and into the privacy of a car. Once alone, however, Ford's true intentions surfaced. In the car, he pulled the inebriated Fisher into his arms and kissed her passionately. This moment marked the start of their 3-month affair, a relationship that, much like their initial kiss, was far from a romantic fairy tale. In her memoir, Carrie Fisher reflects on this chapter with brutal honesty. She doesn't shy away from portraying Ford as emotionally detached, recounting her own struggles for his attention and affection. According to Fisher, Ford's involvement in their relationship was minimal beyond their physical encounters. As a married man with 2 children, he was never going to prioritize her, nor did he offer her much emotional support. Fisher, however, found herself completely captivated by him. Her fixation on Ford drove her to fantasize about him leaving his wife, and she agonized over what more she could do to make him care. While she tried to mask her heartbreak with humor, her account reveals the imbalance in their relationship. The affair, she admits, was largely one-sided, leaving her yearning for a connection Ford was never willing to give. Carrie Fisher once wrote, "I loved him, and he allowed it," a poignant reflection on her unreciprocated feelings for Harrison Ford. Despite the heartbreak, she couldn't deny that their off-screen connection brought undeniable chemistry to their on-screen romance. Their shared moments became more natural, and Fisher often used humor to draw a laugh from Ford during otherwise tense or awkward situations. Still, as she revisited these bittersweet memories, Fisher couldn't help but wonder if she had chosen the wrong leading man. It wasn't just Harrison Ford who had a spark with Fisher. Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, later admitted there was a special connection between them as well. However, his sense of professionalism prevented him from acting on it. Despite this restraint, the two did share an unexpectedly intimate moment while chatting about kissing techniques. Hamill vividly recalled the exchange, saying, "I think I'm a fairly good kisser. I prefer letting the woman come to me rather than being too aggressive." To this, Fisher playfully responded, "What do you mean?" Before they knew it, they were kissing like a couple of giddy teenagers. The moment, though light-hearted and ending in laughter, clearly left a lasting impression on Fisher. In reflecting on her affair with Ford, she couldn't help but also lament the opportunity she might have missed with Hamill. Her reflections, filled with both longing and regret, conveyed an emotional complexity that added depth to her accounts of life behind the Star Wars saga. She wrote, "I'm sorry it's not Mark. It could have been. It should have been. It might have meant something. Maybe not much, but certainly more. Mark Hamill, however, had a very different approach to addressing those lingering what-ifs. Fisher and Ford's scandalous affair left him stunned. He confessed that if he had known about it back then, his jealousy might have overwhelmed him. Yet, not all was lost. Their time working together on Star Wars forged a lifelong friendship. Hamill admitted that a romantic relationship with Fisher was never in the cards. She would have been too much for him, too creative, too intelligent, and simply, in his words, the best. When George Lucas introduced Fisher to the outfit she would wear for the opening scenes of Return of the Jedi, she initially thought it was a joke. The infamous slave Leia costume, a metal bikini that left little to the imagination, would go on to cement Fisher's status as a cultural icon. While this sensual look captivated audiences, it didn't sit well with Fisher herself. The idea of wearing such a revealing outfit made her uneasy. Determined to appear flawless on screen, she endured the grueling expectation of sitting perfectly upright at all times during filming to avoid any lines or creases forming on her body. The pressure to uphold this image of perfection took a toll on her self-esteem in the years that followed. Even so, she found a small source of comfort in it all. Carrie Fisher took immense satisfaction in the scene where her character, Princess Leia, finally put an end to Jabba the Hutt. Reflecting on it, she said, "I just couldn't wait to kill him." In the film, Jabba was the reason Leia had to endure wearing the dreaded bikini, so his brutal demise felt like a perfect act of redemption for both Fisher and her character. However, the infamous golden bikini wasn't the only Star Wars costume that Fisher disliked. She also had strong feelings about Leia's iconic double-bun hairstyle. The hairstyle, which required nearly 2 hours to perfect, meant Fisher had to arrive on set earlier than anyone else. To make matters worse, she found the look completely unflattering, believing it made her face appear wider and less attractive. The pressure to embody the image of a princess weighed heavily on her, even from the very beginning. In fact, Fisher nearly missed out on the role entirely during the casting process. In 1976, George Lucas was looking for someone beautiful to play Princess Leia. When Carrie Fisher's name came up, Lucas almost dismissed her. His ideal choice for the role was Jodie Foster, but scheduling conflicts forced Foster to decline. Looking back now, it's hard to imagine anyone else capturing the stubborn, fiery spirit of Princess Leia quite like Fisher did that very same year. She had a brief fling with Ford Fisher, but soon after, Carrie Fisher met another man who would transform her love life for the next 12 years, Paul Simon. At the time, she had no idea the profound impact this famous musician would have on her. The following year, Fisher appeared on Saturday Night Live, where she crossed paths with Simon again. From that moment, the two became inseparable. Before long, Carrie moved in with Simon at his apartment on Central Park West in New York. While her vibrant and wild energy brought excitement to their relationship, it wasn't without challenges. Carrie struggled with personal demons, including mental illness and substance abuse, which eventually seeped into their romance. Her erratic behavior, marked by intense mood swings, began to take a toll on Simon. As a result, their relationship became a turbulent cycle of breaking up and reconciling. During one of their many breaks, Carrie grew close to her Blues Brothers co-star Dan Aykroyd. Concerned about her well-being, Dan often urged her to eat more, worried about her declining weight. However, during one of their shared meals, a shocking incident occurred. While eating a Brussels sprout, Carrie began choking. At first, Dan thought she was laughing, but he quickly realized the seriousness of the situation. Acting swiftly, he performed a life-saving maneuver, freeing the obstruction. Even after the ordeal ended, both were shaken by the near-death experience. It was then that Dan, overwhelmed by the moment, asked Carrie an unexpected question. He proposed to her on the spot. One of the more surprising relationships in Carrie Fisher's life was her brief but meaningful engagement to comedian Dan Aykroyd. Their bond formed during the filming of The Blues Brothers, where Aykroyd's caring and protective nature became evident. Fisher often credited him with saving her life, quite literally, after he performed the Heimlich maneuver when she began choking during a meal. This moment solidified their connection, leading to a spontaneous proposal that Fisher accepted. Although their engagement ultimately didn't lead to marriage, Aykroyd later described Fisher as a beautiful, brilliant woman and remained deeply respectful of her long after their romance ended. In the end, Carrie couldn't bring herself to go through with marrying Dan Aykroyd. Their relationship, though short-lived, was a testament to the kindness and support Fisher found in her close friends and partners. Her love for Paul Simon still lingered, and she found herself running back to him. Despite their reunion and efforts to make the relationship work, the turbulence between them remained. Throughout the 1980s, they dated on and off, always teetering on the edge of a breakup. Unable to face the pain of parting ways, they chose a different path and got engaged instead. The wedding was a modest affair held at Simon's New York City apartment, with a star-studded guest list that included celebrities like Kevin Kline and Billy Joel. But their married life quickly hit rough waters. Even on their honeymoon, tensions layered. Carrie later recalled an argument where she told Simon, "Not only do I not like you, I don't like you personally." Unfortunately, this was just the beginning. Though their marriage was short-lived, lasting only 11 months, Carrie's sharp wit and humor often helped to mend their rift. Her ability to make Simon laugh brought them back together time and again. However, humor alone couldn't sustain their union. The couple eventually divorced, but their story didn't end there. Like two magnets that couldn't resist each other, Carrie and Simon continued to reconnect even after their official split. Carrie remained involved in Simon's life, helping to raise his son, Harper, from another marriage. Despite their frequent fights, she often reminded herself of how well they clicked and tried to find the humor in their conflicts. But even this wasn't enough to salvage their on-again, off-again relationship. During a trip to Brazil, Fisher's perspective shifted dramatically. While Simon was away working on his music, Carrie decided to visit a spiritual healer. She participated in a cleansing ceremony where she drank ayahuasca tea, which induced vivid, transformative visions. This profound experience seemed to bring her a moment of clarity. In the wake of this revelation, Carrie finally decided to end her relationship with Simon for good. Carrie Fisher once described her relationship with Paul Simon as feeling trapped under his endlessly spinning, ever-controlling mind. While Simon used their romance as creative fuel for his songwriting, he was far less forthcoming about their personal life than Fisher. Preferring privacy, Simon didn't share her openness but respected her choice to write freely about their relationship. In his iconic song Graceland, Simon subtly alluded to her in the lyrics. "She's come back to tell me she's gone, as if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed, as if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead." Though the breakup left an emotional mark on Fisher, her struggles were just beginning. By this time, her substance use, which started during the filming of The Empire Strikes Back, had escalated significantly. However, even in the darkest moments, Fisher managed to find strength and turn her pain into creativity. Her road to recovery became the foundation for her novel Postcards from the Edge, a candid exploration of addiction and rehabilitation. The book not only served as Fisher's outlet, but also opened up important conversations about mental health and addiction, offering hope to those battling similar issues. Carrie Fisher's literary achievements were not just an extension of her creativity, but also a raw reflection of her life's struggles. Her semi-autobiographical novel, Postcards from the Edge, became a bestseller, blending humor and heartbreak to depict the complexities of addiction and recovery. The book's success not only solidified Fisher's reputation as a gifted writer, but also opened a dialogue about mental health and substance abuse in Hollywood. Fisher's writing was often praised for its unflinching honesty, sharp wit, and ability to turn deeply personal experiences into universal truths. Beyond Postcards from the Edge, Fisher authored multiple books, including Wishful Drinking, which expanded her legacy as a storyteller, unafraid to bear her vulnerabilities while making readers laugh and think. Her works remain a testament to her courage in confronting societal taboos and using her voice to advocate for greater awareness and understanding. Carrie Fisher's openness about her struggles with mental health and addiction broke barriers in Hollywood, inspiring a new generation of artists to speak out about their personal battles. Her candid discussions about bipolar disorder, coupled with her sharp wit and humor, destigmatized conversations about mental health in an industry that often shied away from such topics. Fisher's legacy as a mental health advocate continues to resonate, with younger artists frequently citing her as a source of inspiration for their own journeys. Her courage in turning pain into art, whether through writing, acting, or public speaking, created a roadmap for authenticity and resilience in the entertainment world. Despite her personal challenges, Fisher maintained a successful career, especially as a writer. Beyond her acting achievements and original works, she became a sought-after script doctor in Hollywood, polishing screenplays for other writers. Even George Lucas enlisted her to refine the dialogue for his Star Wars prequels, proving that her connection to the franchise was far from over. Beyond her acting and writing, Carrie Fisher's lesser-known contributions as a script doctor solidified her reputation as one of Hollywood's unsung heroes. Fisher was highly sought after for her sharp wit and ability to refine dialogue, breathing life into characters and stories. She worked on iconic films such as Hook, The Wedding Singer, and even the Star Wars prequels, helping to polish scripts that later became blockbuster successes. Known for her ability to add humor and emotional depth, Fisher's behind-the-scenes work left an indelible mark on the industry. Despite the importance of her role, she rarely received official credit, choosing instead to let her work speak for itself. This unassuming yet impactful contribution further cements Fisher's legacy as a creative force in Hollywood. After her tumultuous relationship with Simon ended, Fisher entered a new chapter in her personal life, dating prominent talent agent Brian Lord in the early 1990s. Though Fisher often referred to Lord as her second husband, the couple never officially married. They did, however, have a daughter, Billy, and for a time, Fisher seemed to have found stability. But her happiness was short-lived. In a shocking turn of events, Lord revealed he was leaving her for another man. The betrayal left Fisher feeling deeply humiliated and heartbroken, marking yet another painful chapter in her life. Carrie Fisher's struggles with love seemed to mirror the turmoil she had witnessed in her parents' messy breakup. Her father, Eddie Fisher, famously left her mother, Debbie Reynolds, for Elizabeth Taylor, leaving Debbie to raise a young Carrie on her own. In many ways, Carrie saw herself in her mother's shoes, navigating heartbreak and loss. However, not all was bleak in her personal life. In 2003, she met James Blunt, a young ex-soldier turned aspiring musician, through mutual friends. Their connection was immediate, sparking a unique and unexpected friendship. When Blunt mentioned he had just signed a record deal and was heading to Los Angeles but hadn't yet secured a place to stay, Fisher made him an offer he couldn't refuse. She invited him to live with her while he worked on his debut album. Blunt fondly remembered recording his hit "You're Beautiful" in her bathroom, and he also recounted his playful interactions with Debbie Reynolds, who refused to appear before him unless she was fully made up. Despite the warmth and laughter in Fisher's home, one moment left an eerie impression on Blunt. Ever the joker, Fisher had positioned a cardboard cutout of Princess Leia outside his bathroom as a prank. The unexpected sight startled him, but what lingered in his mind was the unsettling detail on the cutout's forehead, an odd feature that added an almost haunting quality to her otherwise playful sense of humor. She had once scribbled down the date of her birth, along with the date she predicted for her death. Though her brother couldn't recall the exact date she had written, he admitted it was unsettlingly close to the day she actually passed. In 2014, the announcement of a new Star Wars trilogy thrilled fans, especially with the return of the original cast. Carrie Fisher was set to reprise her iconic role as Princess Leia, a prospect that delighted many. Carrie Fisher was never shy about calling out Hollywood's relentless focus on physical appearance, a pressure she felt acutely throughout her career. However, for Fisher, there was one condition she didn't welcome: an intense pressure to lose weight before filming The Force Awakens. Reflecting on the demand with the sharp wit and candor she was known for, Fisher said, "I'm in a business where the only thing that matters is weight and appearance. That is so messed up. You might as well say get younger because that's just as easy." By this point in her life, Fisher was no stranger to Hollywood's unreasonable expectations, and she was unafraid to call them out publicly. Fisher often turned these challenges into humor, but never downplayed their damaging effects. Her bravery in openly addressing these issues paved the way for broader conversations about body positivity and the need for change in Hollywood's approach to beauty and aging. Tragically, her resilience and humor couldn't shield her from what came next. On December 23, 2016, while returning to Los Angeles on a commercial flight, Fisher suffered a medical emergency just minutes before landing. A fellow passenger noticed she wasn't breathing and quickly stepped in to perform CPR while the plane made its descent. Once on the ground, paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but the situation was dire. Fisher was placed on a ventilator and admitted to the ICU, where she clung to life, the outcome uncertain. Just 4 days after the discovery, Carrie Fisher passed away at the age of 60. Her brother, Todd Fisher, was devastated by her loss. As he tried to cope with his grief, he stumbled upon an astonishing find while sorting through their mother, Debbie Reynolds' desk drawers. Hidden among the clutter was a torn piece of paper filled with Carrie's unmistakable handwriting. When Todd read it, he was taken aback. It was as if his sister had left him a message from beyond. The note read, "I am dead. How are you? I'll see you soon. I would call and tell you what this is like, but there is no reception up here." The message continued with cut. New scene, new setup, new heavenly location. I have finally got the part that I have been rehearsing for all my life. God gave me the part. This is the end of the road I have been touring on all my life. For Todd, the discovery felt more than coincidental. It was almost like Carrie had orchestrated this moment from the afterlife. The timing of finding the note was uncanny, offering him a strange sense of comfort and connection to his sister. Whether it was fate, chance, or something more profound, the note became a bittersweet reminder of Carrie's singular wit and perspective on life and death. The mysterious note left by Carrie Fisher became a source of deep reflection for her brother, Todd Fisher, and those close to her. Many saw it as a profound message, blending her signature humor with an almost spiritual awareness of her own mortality. Todd remarked that the note felt like Carrie was reaching out from beyond, her words offering him both comfort and a sense of closure. Friends and fans also weighed in, viewing the message as a final gift from Carrie encapsulating her wit, courage, and ability to find light even in the darkest moments. This act of leaving behind such a personal note solidified her legacy as someone who could transform even death into a moment of humor and grace. Carrie Fisher's life was a tapestry of triumphs and tribulations, woven with humor, heartbreak, and an unyielding determination to be authentic. Her resilience in the face of adversity and her ability to turn pain into art remain an inspiration to this day. Fans, celebrities, and media outlets alike were quick to honor Carrie Fisher's legacy following her untimely passing. Vigils were held by Star Wars fans worldwide, with countless lightsabers lit in tribute to the beloved Princess Leia. Celebrities such as Mark Hamill, Billy Lord, and Meryl Streep shared heartfelt messages about Fisher's wit, courage, and lasting impact. Hamill described her as one of a kind, fiercely independent, and endlessly funny, while Streep called her a writer of rare depth and brilliance. Social media platforms overflowed with tributes, with fans sharing personal stories of how Fisher's openness about mental health and addiction inspired them to seek help and embrace their struggles. These heartfelt reactions underscored the profound influence Fisher had on her audience and colleagues, proving her legacy as more than just an actress. She was a beacon of resilience and honesty. What do you think of Carrie's incredible story and the haunting note she left behind? What part of her journey resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into Hollywood's hidden stories.